When you want to get outside, you're typically out there for fun reasons, but there could be a time when you find yourself needing help.
Search and Rescue is a team of, we're currently about 118 volunteers that service primarily Deschutes County, but also available for other places in Central Oregon and across the state. When we get called in, we are run through the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office.
It's a group who is trained in assisting those in the outdoors.
The 118 volunteers are spread across, we've got 13 different teams currently, and those teams have specialty skill sets or specialty things that they focus on.
The foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit that's set up so that if people wanted to support the efforts of all the volunteers here in the unit, they can do that. You know, any and all donations are great.
Deschutes County Search and Rescue Foundation also does educational work, along with providing trainings for the many volunteers.
You find yourself out in the backcountry in one of our many forests in Deschutes County. You found yourself either lost or injured, and now it's time to call for help. So what should you expect?
Basically, they call into 911. 911 dispatch would route it to our deputies, the deputies on duty here in special services, and then they would decide yay or nay, do we need search and rescue or not? And at that point is when we get mobilized, as we call it. We have an app that we use that's called I Am Responding, where basically the ICs, incident commanders, can page out for the SAR resources, the types that they need.
We have snowmobiles, we have tracked vehicles. We have 3 different types of tracked vehicles that we can bring people into the backcountry and also bring them out. We have snowshoes. We have people that are qualified to do Nordic skiing and backcountry skiing and also inbound skiing as well at the ski resorts.
Primarily in the winter, it's rescues like medical issues. Also people if they're out like recreating and having some sort of medical incident are oftentimes when we get called.
We have an app on our phone that cuts through everything, so even if it's on silent, as long as there's a cell phone signal, our phone will make a very loud noise. And if you are qualified to go out on a mission, let's say it's snowmobile, then you would hit a button on your app and says, I'll be there in 20 minutes. You have to live within a certain distance of our base here.
Now, before you head out on your adventure, there are some things you should pack with you. Something like a GPS satellite system, such as an inReach, or of course, your cell phone. But what else should you have on hand?
Having a plan and being prepared when you go out recreating. Really important to carry the 10 essentials if you're gonna be out there. We have a link to that on our website that you can see. But it's basically like navigation, food source, emergency shelter, water, all of the things that you would typically go out and outdoors with.
Some of the newer model Apple phones and Android phones have that technology built in. It's still new. I would look into it, make sure that it actually is something that you have on your phone.
So you're out enjoying the day, out recreating, but sometimes circumstances can change. And at what point should you make that call for help?
We always recommend to call early, right? If you think that you're in trouble or a loved one is in trouble, err on the side of calling, right? We'd rather have you call and not need us than not call and really need us.
And if you're in Deschutes County, you also have the option to text 911 if you can't get a call out.
So now you've made that call to search and rescue, but what should you do while you're waiting for them to come and find you?
Depending on how that we were contacted, we might keep in constant contact with that person as we're getting out to that area, getting updates from there. I think, when somebody is hurt, or especially if they're lost, you have a tendency to say, I'm in trouble, now I want to try to get out. We say hug a tree. Stay where you are, right? If you're gonna call 911 and you are lost or you are hurt, unless we tell you to move, the right thing to do is to call 911 or hit your satellite device and stay put.
Modern day technology allows us to have a few things at the ready when we're out in the backcountry. Things like a GPS system such as an inReach or your cell phone, which also can act as a GPS satellite. And it's important to have offline downloaded maps on your cell phone. It's also very important to be able to find out what your GPS coordinates are to relay that to search and rescue.
While it's not technically part of the 10 essentials, having a cell phone that's got fully charged, and if you have a backup battery, that's awesome because those can often help you. While you might not have service, you might have access to maps and things if you pre-plan or pre-prepare. And I think The other really important thing is when you're going out recreating is let somebody know what your plan is.
By following tips from your local search and rescue organization, you can spend more time in the outdoors safely. For another edition of Get Outside, I'm Emily Kirk.